So today I want to take you back a few years to when I was in the sixth grade. So I was taking algebra. And oh my gosh, I really struggled with it. I could not connect the dots in my brain for the formulas and just, I still suck at algebra. Okay. But at the time, here I am, a little sixth grader, and I would stay after school and the teacher would work with me and I would study, study, study. And then it would come to the test and I would fail. It was so frustrating. And in fact, I think my teacher, if I'm remembering it right, gave me a D in the class, even though I didn't earn a D, because she didn't want me to actually fail the class because she knew I was trying so hard. What happened in that time was that I decided that because I wasn't good at algebra, I wasn't smart. And I don't know why. Nobody said that to me, but this is the way things go when we're kids. We have some sort of experience and it gets anchored in us like this, undeniable truth. Brenda is not smart. And I carried that with me until I was in my mid 30s. I didn't have any ambition to go to college. I didn't want to take my SATs because I was sure my score would be so embarrassingly low. I just didn't want to, deal with that. I avoided all math classes for the rest of my school as much as I could, or took the easiest thing I could. And so then that kind of spilled over into science because I figured if I'm not good at math, I'm not going to be good at science. And even though all the other areas of school that I did, everything in language arts, and I have musical talent. And so I was very good there. I breezed through all that, straight A's, but I still told myself I wasn't smart. So that belief got anchored into me there in sixth grade. And it took me until I was in my 30s to start to unravel that belief and come into the truth of who I am, which is that really I'm a smart woman. I have some challenges when it comes to math, but having challenges in one topic doesn't mean you're not smart, right? Like we know that as an adult, but when you anchor in that belief as a child, it's very hard to undo that. So I want you to think about something that is like that in your life. It could be a completely different topic, right? You could have gotten anchored in a belief that your body was too large or too small, or that you weren't athletic enough, or that you weren't pretty, or attractive enough, whatever words, come to mind there, or stylish enough. It could be something around that. Or it could be that you too didn't think you were smart, or in some way just didn't feel good enough. As people pleasers, there are so many ways that because our lives get oriented around other people and needing the approval of other people so badly, even more than most, it's very easy to drop into these areas of comparing ourselves to someone else, or comparing ourselves to an ideal that, isn't even realistic, but it seems so in our own heads. And so we get these beliefs about ourselves and these limitations. Well, I can't do that. Well, that works for other people, but it won't work for me. All those kinds of things. So think about that for yourself. And in a time when you were in your preteens or teenage years, that something like that happened to you. It could have been from a bully. It could have been, from a teacher, from a parent, it could have been somebody in your church environment or somewhere else in your community that maybe leveled a criticism at you or a judgment. Or maybe like me, it wasn't even from somebody outside of you. It was something that happened and then you internalized it and sort of self-proclaimed, right? That you aren't something that, you think you should be. And so I'm so driven to help adults unravel these things in their life. That's what my whole coaching practice is about. That's what this podcast is about, right? Everything I do, my programs, everything is about helping us unravel these diminishing at best, beliefs and thoughts and feelings that get anchored into us. And most of those happened when we were young. Well, recently, because I have, of course, mentors and coaches I work with, and one of those is Susan Hyatt. And I'll put a link to her website in the show notes. But she created a program for girls ages 8 to 18 that she calls Bold. And it's all about empowering, young girls. It's giving them the tools that I didn't have to not self-diagnose that I was not smart, at the ripe old age of, 11 or 12, whatever you are in sixth grade, and carry that with me for the next 20 years or so. So I became a certified facilitator for Susan's program for Bold. And I'm just super excited to bring this into the world, to integrate this into my own offerings and coaching practice, because it's an 8-week program. We do 7 weeks of, specific lessons and then a wrap-up week where it really gives the girls the skills they need to monitor social media, themselves, to not get caught up in despair, compare and despair with that, because social media is so much more intense for girls these age than, media was for me when I was a teenager. So we want to give them the skills. They have mindset skills. So if they've already gotten anchored into their minds that they aren't something, Bold will give them the skills that they need to start to unravel that and find a thought that is more empowering, how to speak up for themselves, how to take care and love their bodies and express their own unique brilliance in the world. So I am so excited to get this program out. And so I'm wondering if you have a girl, a daughter, a granddaughter, a niece, somebody that you're connected to, or maybe you work with a group of girls, you're a Girl Scout leader, or you're a teacher, or in some way, through a community or church organization or something, have a group of girls that you want to explore bringing this Bold program to them. I would love to talk to you. So reach out to me. I'm going to put in the show notes a link so that you can reach out to me just to express your interest, and then we'll just brainstorm and explore from there. Or you can always email me, brenda@brendaflorida.com. And of course, I'd also like to know if this episode makes you think of your own thing, like my I'm not smart, that got anchored into you that you're still carrying around, because we don't need that either, right? And that's what I'm here for. So I'd love to hear about that, and I can address it on a future episode here in Liberate Your People Pleaser, or give you some sort of resources with that. So I can't wait to hear from you about your own need to potentially be a little more bold, and the girls that you may be able to bring this program to. And let's just remember that there's always a way out. There's always a way to unravel whatever has been set up in us that diminishes us. Because the brilliance of who you are, the liberated person that is dying to come out of you, is always there. It's not something that needs to be found. It's not something broken that needs to be fixed. It's there inside of you, waiting to be retrieved. So I can't wait to hear from you, and I will see you in the next episode of Liberate Your People Pleaser.